In this video, we'll talk about 3 things that you can do in order to have the best small group ever. And fun fact, they all start with the letter P. Try to guess what they are ahead of time. Let's get started. If you've worked in children's ministry, you might be familiar with small groups. Typically, it's a time to get to know the kids on a deeper level by splitting up into smaller classes of smaller groups of 8 to 10 kids per teacher. This small group duration may be anywhere from 10 to 45 minutes. Depending on the teacher, it can be a rich and fulfilling experience, or it can be a disaster. What do you think the worst small group ever would look like? How would you describe it? Unpleasant, boring, messy, uninviting? What would the best small group ever look like in contrast? Engaging, fun, organized, and welcoming? Do you wish that your small group could look like that? The first thing you must do is plan well. Planning well is extremely important to having a successful small group because when you don't have a plan, you default to what you're most familiar with. For most of us, the easy and most familiar thing to do is plain old just talking without the addition of fun activities or visuals. That's because those things require, you guessed it, planning. Imagine if you're leading a small group and you just talk at your group of kids for 45 minutes. All right, kids, listen up. We're going to talk about something important in the Bible. So, it says here in blah, 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 that blah is really important. And if you look in blah, it says blah, blah, blah. Over here in blah, there's a point about blah.
This is boring. You want to see what I got for my birthday? Oh, cool. Does it do backflips? Yeah, and it even shoots lasers.
And blah, blah, blah. Johnny, Susie, Mr. Daniel, can you... Yeah. Kids, listen up. Pay attention. Yeah. Thank you. And continuing with the point. Blah, 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 blah. Blah, 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 blah.
Look at that group. They're having so much fun.
No fair. They get to play with hula hoops.
Let's go over there instead.
If you just talk at your kids, they will get bored. Guaranteed. Most adults would get bored in that situation, but they're just too polite to say anything. Your students, being children, will probably not have as much self-control. They'll act up and decide to make their own fun if you don't have anything planned for them to do. It gets even worse if other small groups are doing fun things and your kids see it. Don't be surprised if they start wanting to leave or check out what everyone else is doing. So, what should you plan? You should plan what you'll do during each minute of your small group time. Try to visualize it. When the kids come to your group, what can you have ready for them to do right away? Some ideas could be giving them a snack, telling them a story, talking about prayer requests, playing a review game, doing a coloring sheet or craft, or showing an object lesson. Think through this as well. When you're doing these activities, what can you do to guide their conversations? What questions will you ask them? What verses can you talk about from the Bible that tie into the main point? Unless you're very good at coming up with things on the spot, you should plan these things out. As the saying goes, if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. Hey friend, if this content was helpful for you, please let us know. If you like the video, please like it by giving us a thumbs up. It doesn't cost you anything, but it helps us a lot. Also, please consider subscribing to the channel so you never miss a video. And if you know someone else that would be helped by this content, please share it with them. Thanks for all you do. Now back to the video. You should plan enough activities to fill the whole small group time and then plan extra just in case. An extra activity is helpful when things don't go according to plan. Maybe the kids complete something faster than you anticipate, or maybe they aren't in the mood for an original activity. Or maybe the kids just stay longer than usual because the guardian was too late to pick them up. Those things happen, so it's a good idea to have a plan for it. When you have a plan, try to have a variety of ideas. Different kids will have different learning styles and preferences, so keep that in mind to help them feel included and also maximize their learning. Some kids learn better while listening quietly, like with a story, while others might want to be involved actively with a lesson like a game or a craft. Mixing it up also keeps things fresh and interesting. If you start off with small group time with a story and snack, it'd be a great idea to do an active game next to allow them to get up and move around. Planning a variety of lively and calm games will help everyone to have fun learning. What are some final things you should plan? If you have a teaching partner, plan with them ahead of time who is in charge of what and in what order they'll do everything. That will keep the ball rolling and help to avoid dead time trying to figure out what to do next. Also, plan how you'll arrange a small group space. What will you use as a boundary? What direction should the kids face in order to avoid distractions? And where can you lay out all your props and supplies so you can reach them easily without having to rummage through your bag? Once you're done with the planning, you could optionally put up the day's plan for the kids to see. Then they can track and check off things as they're completed. This is especially helpful if they get impatient or keep asking when the next thing is going to happen. It could help them feel more comfortable when they know what to expect. The second thing you should do to have the best small group ever is a unique feature of small group. You can't do this very well in a large group setting. What do you think it is? It's to personalize it. The great thing about small group is that it gives you the opportunity to learn about the kids individually. Early on, try to memorize everyone's name and use them often. Find out their interests and tie them into your lesson instead of following a generic curriculum. Try to track what level of understanding they have of the Bible and the gospel and teach accordingly. Do they have no knowledge of the Bible? Then teach them the basics. Or maybe they've been immersed in the Bible since 9 months before they were born. Then challenge them to live out what they already know. Give them tougher things to chew on. Are your students older or younger? What kind of things are they dealing with in their day-to-day lives? What kind of questions do they have about life that the Bible can answer? Although it does take effort to personalize things, going deeper with your students can be so rewarding. As you spend time with them, you'll see each one's unique personality shine through. Take note of their strengths and weaknesses and see if you can help them grow. For the children who are outgoing and like to take charge of things, you can channel their leadership abilities by having them help others. You can also encourage them to answer questions or try new things first if the others are hesitant. And you can also let them teach something alongside you. Praise them when they lead in the right direction. For those children who are a bit more on the quiet and shy side, you can include them by using a talk stick to give them space to join in the conversation. Praise them for their attentiveness and also encourage them to participate in things. Ask them to help you with small things like hold up a visual or cleaning up. Thank them for being there and say how glad you are to see them. That leads us to the third thing you should do in order to have the best small group ever, and that is to pour everything you have into the children. While they are there, stay totally engaged with them. Show the kids how happy you are to have them in your group. Even if you feel tired, be excited and smile. Remember that Philippians 4:13 says, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. The joy of the Lord will be your strength. On tough days, you can still show the kids that you're interested in them and that you care. Positivity really does go a long way. Do you remember a teacher that you had growing up who made you feel special and loved? After your students grow up and move on, they may not remember your name or face anymore, but they will remember how you made them feel. So do your best to make things special by going above and beyond the call of duty. Have fun and leave them with an experience they'll never forget. If you faithfully put these 3 things into practice, planning, personalizing, and pouring everything you got, the kids will love your small group and you will soon be on your way to having the best small group ever.